made you laugh. That makes me happy. Happy Thursday, everyone. Well, it's day 8 without Kat on the show. As you know, she's on her honeymoon, and I think she sent us a video.
Hey, Greg, I'm still on my honeymoon. I'm in Germany. And I know I always laughed when you talked about all the movies you made here in the 90s, but you're actually super famous here. Everyone keeps telling me how much they miss their dirty Hasselhoff.
It's true. It took me 3 years to get the stench out. Anyway, do you feel you're being primed for something like the UFC does for weeks before their next big pay-per-view? The media is trying to gear us up for the ultimate showdown between Biden and Trump. Fighting out of the red corner with a record of 1-1, standing 6'3", 245 pounds, hailing from Mar-a-Lago, Florida, by way of NYC, Donald the Disruptor Trump. And fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 50 years of mistakes and 2 years of embarrassments. Standing 6 feet tall, napping at 3 feet tall, and weighing in at 180 pounds, depending on his last bowel movement.
Oh, God.
Joe, the demented old circus monkey Biden. See how fair and balanced that was? Talk about a buildup, right? You got January 6th theater, then you got the raid and all the phony stories that followed. First it was the nuke secrets, then it was empty folders. What's next? Did he take the office hole puncher?
Oh, my God.
That was a nickname for Omarosa. Oh, I don't even know what it means. I have no idea what that means.
Sure you don't.
I don't.
Okay.
Then came Joe's speech. Fascism, civil war, a blood-red backdrop that would give Dracula the willies. But if you forgot, here's a clip. Of course, Trump makes a perfect distraction. It's like when Cavuto wears bike shorts to a funeral. But when every metric reveals failures of left-wing policies, why wouldn't you try to deflect to the guy who tracks cameras like me getting out of a limo in a micro-skirt? Yeah, you're thinking about it, though. That's all I want. I want you to go home and think about it. They're pretending not to, but the media wants Trump back. And why not? Let's compare the last 2 presidents.
Putin's kleptocracy, kleptocracy, and the guys who are the kleptocracies.
That runway is like an ice skating rink. And the first step, I said, you know, this sucker is slippery. I think it was put in by the Democrats.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to excuse me.
You know, I thought that was the sun in my eyes. It's these stupid lights, these people. I mean, what are they doing?
This is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, you switched on me.
The light's no good. I always look orange. And so do you.
No wonder they miss the guy. So maybe it's time to ask ourselves, do we miss him too, right? Because remember, he causes serious emotional responses in people. He's like the human version of chasing a cigarette with a large black coffee. You know, you get nervous, your heart starts beating, and you start looking for a toilet. I have friends that can't talk about him without physically changing. Just check out my neighbor Steve when I mentioned Trump.
Heard somebody whisper, please adore me.
Yes. I imagine this is how my exes feel whenever they see me on TV. It's okay. We all won. But this is what I tell... I don't know what that meant. I don't even know what it means, again. But this is what I tell never-Trumpers. No one says you have to like the person who works for you. And when Trump's president, he's working for you, just like a doctor, a garbage man, or if you're Hunter, a hooker. Trump's our nation's waiter. Hi, my name's Donald, and I'll be your server for tonight. This evening's specials are Law and Order, Building a Wall, and laughing at the losers and haters. Fact is, people who make your life better, they can suck. If I had to undergo emergency surgery, I don't need to like the doctor. I'd take a great doctor who's a straight-up a-hole over a charming, handsome fella who removes the wrong kidney. Or forgets to put in the one I bought off eBay. So yeah, I'll take Dr. Jekyll over Dr. Jill.
Oh.
After all, one's fictional and the other's Dr. Jekyll. That was funny. But look, successful people tend to be relentless and rude, right? And if people hate Trump, that's good, because chances are they hate him because he really works for you and makes them work hard too. Plus, he scares people. Is that so bad? I want my doctor, lawyer, agent, astrologist to be feared because that means they don't take no for an answer. If you're a pro athlete, come contract negotiation time, do you want Don Knotts or Don Rickles? Trump might have been a prick when he was out for himself, but when he transferred that energy to us, well, that's magic. Think about why Biden's been around forever. He's not looking out for you. He was always out for himself. He didn't lead. He cut self-serving deals the way his son cuts lines at Coke. Oh. Thick. But what did Trump used to say?
I will never, ever let you down.
I will never, ever let you down.
I will never let you down.
I will never let you down, I promise you that.
So why did he mean that? It's because of the desires for his success mapped directly onto yours. But to never Trumpers, he feels like their scariest boss, well, behind Kamala. But their error, their mistake is assuming that they're beholden to Trump when it's the opposite. He's not your boss, he works for you. And you want a monster like him working for you at all times. Of course, there is a price. He's like Mike Tyson. There was nothing like him in the ring, but something so relentless can't be turned off. The fight goes on after the bell is rung, like after an election. When the bell rang, Trump kept fighting. That's part of the deal. Sorry. So do you want some energy monster that's on your side, or some backslapping, seemingly congenial bureaucrat who will tell you to relax when your gas bill doubles and you can't afford meat? In a few months, Joe's going to change the definition of food and force you to eat bugs. So unless you need a fourth for shuffleboard, you don't need Joe. That's the choice. The brainless napping mutt you have now, or the pit bull waiting in the wings. I say you need the dog the media hates because he won't do what they say, he does what you say. Sure, every once in a while, this pit bull is going to take a dump on the rug. But that's all he has in common with Biden. She traded cheerleading for law because there's way less spelling. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. He's appeared on more panels than pressure-treated plywood. Fox News contributor and Washington Times opinion editor Charlie hurts so good. This school choice activist puts bad teachers in detention. Senior fellow at the American Federation for Children, or ACFID, Corey DeAngelis. And he makes Hercules question his masculinity. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrus. Charlie, I want to go to you first. I've had enough of Emily. You know, I always try when I have these conversations with people that are just scared, you know, of Trump returning. I go like, if you just reframe him from being a dangerous, arrogant monster to being your dangerous, arrogant monster, then he becomes like the best president ever. You know, he's like having a big, giant Doberman on a chain that you can barely control.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like your plumber.
Yeah.
You don't want a clean plumber. You want a plumber that gets the plumbing, fixes the problem.
You want a dirty plumber.
You want and
a big dirty plumber.
Iris, why did I pick plumber?
You sailed this ship on your own, Briz.
Yes.
Nope.
All right, a bodyguard. You want a bodyguard,
yeah.
and he's more like a bodyguard. But here's
dirty
the thing
bodyguard?
That's really, just stop.
Dirty, really dirty, shirtless, maybe. Mike Rowe. Could my bodyguard be Mike Rowe?
Uncle, I give up.
I'm sorry. Keep going. I apologize.
No, but it's really important because the truth, they call him an extremist, and the reason they call him an extremist is because he's the least extreme president we've ever had, and both parties are terrified of him. Obviously, more so Democrats than Republicans. But when you think about it, Donald Trump is the most unifying president we have ever had when it comes to the issues. If you're talking about the border, if you're talking about energy independence, or you're talking about the economy, 60, 70, 80, 90% of Americans agree with him on those issues. But because of his style and because the media has so distorted so much about the issues, they've been able to portray him as this.
Go ahead.
No, and it's a complete lie. It's a total lie. And if people would just focus on the issues and say he's the plumber that's going to fix the problem, or he's the bodyguard that's going to fix the problem, he's like an 80% guy.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is there's the emotional component. And it's like, I actually have friends that admit that it's an emotional response.
Yes.
Right? That they're like, I can't. And so I always say, Emily, that he's like a 3-hour drive to an hour at the beach. Right? It's expensive to get what you want with Trump. What do you say to that, young lady?
Yeah, I think, you can serve and lead at the same time. And that's what we saw in President Trump. And that's the opposite of what we're seeing in President Biden. And I feel that so deeply because I was a federal attorney for so long that I never lost sight of the fact that I was a steward of everyone's money and my salary and time and whatnot.
Stewardess.
The flight attendant of everyone's time and money. And, I don't forget that.
Oh,
what?
Can't say that.
I don't forget that to President Biden, we are the enemy.
Yes.
To President Biden, the only reason that Trump is now back in his crosshairs is because somehow whoever writes his speeches have moved on from the average American that flies the flag in their front yard and cares about their children's education and cares about policy and crime being diminished and cities being safe and the border being secure. Those were the enemy before. And I haven't forgotten that. And all of the independents haven't forgotten that either, because those polls still reflect that independents in droves are going to vote for the GOP in November. So they can put the red backgrounds all they want. They can become Kerry Part 2. But no one's going to forget that they were the ones that were top of Biden's enemy list before he circled back to President Trump.
Not bad for a stewardess. Corey, should you be suspicious?
Can I be a stewardess too?
Yes, you can.
I identify as a stewardess.
There you go. What do you?
Can I have some more water?
Yeah. Wine.
Sorry.
Do you get a little paranoid that the Dems want Trump because they think they can beat him? They really want him to go up against Biden.
I think Joe Biden wants to be more like Trump. And if you look at his Independence Day speech, Emily mentioned the speechwriters a little bit ago, and I really think that we've all been duped, that these speechwriters are actually undercover agents for the Republican Party, because it was just so far out there, his Independence Day speech with the red behind him, he had the Marines behind him, it was so divisive. And it's so funny coming from the same person who ran on being the unifier of the country. He's taken quite the opposite turn, and it's not going to work out for him in November.
I will say that it is effective, Tyrus, because I feel like there's some polling that shows that that MAGA is scary to them. Do you think that Biden's going to face him?
I don't know if Biden's going to face anyone. He might be laying on the ground while he's running. But here's the thing. If you turned off your social media and mainstream media for a month when President Trump was in office, you would see that your check was better, your bills were better, and your neighborhoods were safe.
Right.
As soon as you turned on the TV, that's when the hysteria started, because what was President Trump's biggest problem? He was uncorruptible because he had it already. He didn't need their money. He didn't need their influence, and had no problem putting them on blast. Because let's remember, at one point, he was a Democrat who was cutting checks for who? Democrats. So who knows them better than the guy who's cutting checks for them? He did, and that was the issue. So if you didn't look at the first world hysteria, his deeds were pretty good. The problem was with the pit bull is Trump is probably the greatest, worst first responder of all time.
Yeah.
As soon as you throw shade, he's coming back at you. They threw a diss, he would fight back.
Exactly.
So that would be what everyone saw, and we would forget about the deeds. Now we miss the deeds because, or not just the gasoline prices, and this is how they get us. They brought them down $1, but everyone who got an electric bill saw them make up the difference when your electric bill is tripled and sometimes doubled or quadrupled. So but they brought it down. That's the difference. If he wasn't such a first responder, and who knows, maybe he's, maybe we'll put a little muzzle on him a little bit. But other than that, his deeds outweighed the bots on Twitter.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.